Sweet and tasty, just like me. Won't get a taste if you don't get to know me. Would hate for you to lose a girl like me. Do you want to get to...
Is Nicholas Jarjour, and he's definitely going to be taking this industry, this music industry, I should be specific, by storm, and he's going to let us know a little bit more about himself. Welcome to Soul Call.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm very pleased, and you have a company, you have a management company, a production company,
record label as well.
You have a whole heap of stuff going on. But first and foremost, what does 730 stand for?
Well, 730 is basically a reference towards the fact that, you know, you always know what time it is with my company. You know, we're constant. There's a lot of people in this day and age who don't have time, who, you know, time is of the essence. So in a lot of respects, 730 represents that time. You know what time it is. It's a constant for us, you know?
So why not 745?
Well, 730 also represents a few other things. It was the time I was born. And it represents, you know, basically a movement of the time that represents me. So
now, a lot of people have been giving you a lot of accolades and really impressed with your work ethic and your drive and your energy. Now, you started music when you were 11, but even earlier than that, I'm pretty sure.
Yes. Well,
how did you always know it was going to be music?
I mean, the music teacher was the one who told me. I had a teacher by the name of Mr. Kennedy, and, you know, he basically said I had a gift. I was able to play by ear, whereas everybody was reading the notes. So he actually said, when you play by ear, you're better than when you read the notes. So I would just play by ear and continue to make music, and we cut my first album of kid songs that I wrote and composed. 2 albums we did when I was 11 and 12 years old, so it was great. It got me in the door.
You started writing lyrics right out the gates, then you started to write lyrics right away.
Lyrics and music composing as well, yeah.
Now, you've worked with some pretty some large artists, and I'm proud of you for that, but this is not the end for you. You want to go and you want to do a lot more things in terms of production. How did you know you wanted to be a producer?
Well, being a producer came naturally with the whole music and composing, and, you know, what I really want to do with my company and with myself is create an industry in Montreal that's never been here. We have so much talent, there's so much potential throughout Canada, but even in Toronto or anywhere you look, there's no infrastructure. There aren't enough people that are taking these roles and really taking them seriously. So, you know, being a producer was one thing, but then I got my education in artist management to learn how to start my own label and start my own management company. I try to bring them all together using convergence to create something great for the industry that's never been done before. You know?
Now, let's go back to your education for a second. You're a Travis Institute graduate, and you did the MBA program there. Now, you also are the only person that I've ever read that goes back to the school, or has been asked to go back to the school to speak to the students. Yeah,
I was the first ever speaker, you know, who hadn't graduated less than 20 years before. I had gone less than 6 months after graduating to be a guest speaker. And, you know, it's a privilege to be able to motivate the future international music business students, you know, so it's an absolute pleasure.
Well, what had you learned in that 6 months? How was the so-called real world different from when you were going to school 6 months before that at Travis?
The program was 12 months, but, you know, what I learned in the real world was there's an insurmountable amount of things you're going to experience in the real business world that you don't experience in school. However, you know, I take what I learned in school as a backbone for what I learned in the real world. You know, there's a lot of difficult aspects of this industry. Everybody always hears about it every day. But, you know, just because the industry is perceived as negative, it doesn't mean I need to continue to be negative. I'm going to try to create something positive, and that's what I've learned, is that no matter what is around us, I can continue to move forward and make positive things happen.
So what is the vision of this company? What is so different about 730?
Well, 730 Entertainment, I mean, we represent basically bringing Canada forward onto the international marketplace. I've managed in 12 months of being a professional to solidify, you know, #1 spots on Russian radio for my artist, publishing deals in Los Angeles with all the major Hollywood and television stations. For my company, international distribution through Universal Records for 730 Entertainment, 730 Records. And, you know, all these things are not just for me or for my flagship artist, Layla, who we're going to talk about. It's also for everybody else that we're going to bring out and give that opportunity where there's never been an opportunity like that before.
Now, speaking about Layla, she's your current project. As you want to discuss it, she's your flagship. She's your go-to girl for right now. What's so different about Layla and her concept?
Well, Layla is one of the most talented individuals I've ever met. She's also an incredibly humble person, and what really struck me about her initially was her insurmountable abilities. She's a songwriter, she's an artist, she's a performer, she's, you know, a positive role model for women, excuse me. You know, everything she's about is to encourage women to know that they can do it. And that, for me, was what really, that was the hook, line, and sinker, because I was raised by women as well. So I want to empower not just men and women, but everybody to know you can achieve these things. She's so talented, of course. That's why.
Well, I want to ask really quickly, what are your future projects? What are your goals here?
Well, you know, we've got a situation now with the major where we're going to be distributed all over, and I've got the publishing throughout the U.S. and Europe. Hopefully what I'm going to be able to do within the next few years is create opportunities for artists all over Canada and abroad. And, you know, Layla's album is coming out in spring '09. That's going to be great. And, you know, basically continue to work with different artists that I produce for,
all right.
you know.
This is definitely not the end of the road for you, because I'm very excited and proud. I even get to talk about all the awards this man has won. So we're going to have to promise to get you back on air to do so, because unfortunately our time is done. But I want to thank you very much for coming through, and wish you a lot of luck for everything you got to get done.
Thanks again.
All right.
Here's how you can get in contact with us here on Soul Call.